Hello, my name is Anne Murtagh and I'm author of a book for age 10 and over, published by the O'Brien Press and called The Sound of Freedom. This is a story that takes place during the Irish War of Independence, and I think it would be a great story to get lost in at the moment. First of all, it's an exciting adventure story about 13-year-old Colm as he becomes caught up in what he sees as the struggle for Irish freedom. Secondly, you're also learning history. The story takes you back to 1919, and through the characters you get to experience what life was like at the time. That's the really cool thing about historical fiction. It helps you feel like what it was like to be there. I'm going to read a short piece from the opening chapter of the book when Colm is on his way home from school, and unknown to him, his house has been raided by the RIC, the police at the time. I marched off the road to the tune in my head. Soldiers are we, whose lives are pledged to Ireland. Some have... A hand sprang out, grabbed my arm and dragged me into the cottage. "Stop here," a man's voice said. "It's not safe above." The latch clicked as the door closed. I pulled free and stumbled into the dark kitchen, landing on the flagstones beside Jip, the old black and white sheepdog. Reeking of damp fur, he leaned over and licked my face. "Tom Cook, for God's sake be careful," said Mrs. Friary, towards the shadows inside the door. She turned to me and whispered, "They're above with your father." Tom slid from the door over to the window. His brown moustache twitched as he peeped through the curtains. "Oh, they're up there this 20 minutes, he said. "Spotted them driving up the Boreen when I was crossing into the Fort field." "And Nan?" I asked, unfastening my school bag on my back. "Castle Pollard," said Mrs. Friary. "Gone this 2 hours." At least she's been spared the sight of them.